when they were really good, where you give it to the quarterback gives it to a running back, and the running back runs out to the side but doesn't pass the line of scrimmage and then passes it back to the quarterback.
Yeah.
I guess I always called it a pitch and catch.
Yeah.
So they practiced those tonight. He was doing okay. He wasn't. I did have a talk with him, not like a hard talk, but I did have a talk with him because he was kind of when he was out on the field practicing, he was kind of screwing around, trying to entertain the other players and have fun with them, which I understand a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, your coach was trying to talk to you, and I said one of the plays you almost didn't get turned around in enough time because you're facing the other direction. I'm like, you kind of need to pay attention a little bit more.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Here.
yeah, I don't know. Like swimming, he's told me he wants to do again. Soccer, he's told me he wants to do again. But I don't know. I don't know yet about flag football.
Okay.
It might be just one of those things where he just does it, and then he just does it. I think, and then it gets to a point where he's just not gonna do it anymore. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it might not be his thing.
No, I know soccer is. He has a better understanding of it and stuff. And um, I think football intrigues him just because everybody around here obviously likes football, and so he wants to kind of have a grasp of what people are talking about.
Yeah.
I last year had permission to take him to a Husker game. So if I get the chance, I'm gonna see if I can't work that out sometime.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh.
Because I think he'll enjoy it, other than the walking of a mile to get to the stadium that we have to do when you park there.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, we might have to. I don't know. This week was a little. So the coach had to move to Friday nights from Wednesday nights because he's evidently his job hit their busy season.
Okay.
And but we only got like a few weeks left. I don't know if it's 3 or 4. And then let's see. But also right now, at least in the short term, um I am also helping with a patio project that is probably going to take us a little bit to get. I know it's going to take us a little bit to get done.
Yeah.
And she kind of wants to work on it every night that it's nice, which the last 2 nights it haven't been. So yeah, I don't know. Like tonight, so the practice was only an hour, which I was expecting to be an hour and a half. So I got back with a little bit more than an hour to spare, and that's with getting groceries. But that's what I was worried about. Is like, I hope I get back in time.
Yeah. Well, it was all right if we couldn't make it. Oh, I realized I forgot to.
Well,
There we go.
we might have to just kind of. It might be one of those things just right now where it's just because I got so many things that I need to be doing that we may just have to feel it out for the next few weeks and just if we can't have it, we can't have it.
Yeah. or try some other nights, like
or
a Monday,
or try
Tuesday.
some, yeah.
Yeah, and that's fine
Well,
too.
it might be one of those things where it's like she decides not to have me, um, or decides not to work on it that night, and it might be that I might be contacting you about, like at 6:30, 7 o'clock at night,
Yeah.
saying, "Hey, tonight works," and
Well, and that's another thing is, it rained here and stuff. But
oh, yeah,
I'm gonna, I'm
it's
gonna
been,
uh, work. Yeah, I got some projects too to get to starting that are outdoor stuff like that. So yeah,
well, and it started with a storm on Wednesday night, and it's been kind of rainy and cold for the last 2 days here. And then
I'm still dinking around just a touch with my setup here.
I uh, I was watching the I don't know what you want to call them, the storm prediction site. There's a there's a YouTube channel that runs 24/7, and they'll give you all the weather for mostly they give you storm warnings all across the country.
Yeah,
And then they have earthquakes and wildfire on there too. But the guy that runs it, also does a daily rundown of the models for the weather for the next few days, especially if there's going to be severe storms like this time of year in my neck of the woods. And
yeah,
I think Sunday night we'll have a chance, or is our chance, and then Monday night it moves a little bit to the east of us. If we get it on Monday night, it'll be because it started out here, not because it's not because we're not that it'll be severe around here. But anyways, so I've been watching that. And like Monday night might be a stormy night,
yeah.
at least for the east. But
Yeah, today was just a kind of dreary day, so, and it was kind of like 50 degrees out, so it was cold and
mm-hmm.
kind of rainy. But,
Well,
I got some grass seed out, and I've got some post holes to dig because I'm going to replace my front gates with like essentially cattle panel like gates, and then I'll put the wood pickets on it. But just, I mean, the ones I had are when I built the fence back in 2009 or something. So, and I built them out of wood, and they're all warped and kind of falling apart. And
well, I need to do that. I need to redo my gates too. I never thought about doing the cattle panel thing.
Yeah. Well, I didn't either until I was like, geez, because I mean, the ones I built were heavy, and I'm like, I want something lighter, and then a little bit more secure. But they swing on those little they kind of have their own hinges. I'll have to make it so you can't just lift them off. But yeah, and they're cheaper than the materials to build the gates, essentially. With 2x4s and all that. So, and then they'll just last. So yeah, like if you like a walk-in gate, they have those kind. Just cover it with wood. Use some tapping screws or something, or.
So that would fix a bunch of my gates around here. Bunch of little fence projects around here for me.
Yeah.
No, this week, between all that, I get a call late Sunday night asking me if I could take her son to a dentist appointment on Monday. And I said, yeah, I should be able to. Let me check with my supervisors and stuff. Well, I've
Why?
gotten a,
I
you
guess
know,
why couldn't she? I guess, or what would she do without you? You know.
yeah, well, I checked with my supervisor and everything. Well, then I ended up spending the week catching up my time because I didn't.
Yeah.
This all stems from the Christmas break that they kind of forced us to use PTO, and so I still because I'm still at a very weird place. I've got like in August I finally get 2 weeks of PTO instead of just 1 week a year. And so I'm still trying to catch up from all that, and I just don't have any. So,
Yeah.
but I did set his next appointment because I guess I figure that I'll probably be taking him to that, which is fine. But I'm like, if I am going to, then I'm gonna set this for what works for me, not.
Yeah. Well, probably going to the
Anyway,
football and soccer game stuff's probably kind of fun. I mean, I
uh,
enjoy watching them play, even though they're
soccer
not
is
even though they're not super. I mean, they're competitive, but not super. I mean, it's not like when going to watch high school sports. I wasn't really much, of a basketball fan, but I did like to watch people I knew play. I like to watch them. So.
I enjoyed when I was in pep band and had to play.
Oh,
Um,
I like that
I,
part, the pep band, but I liked
but
watching the
no,
game too.
I like watching the games. I enjoyed watching the games. No, I soccer was really fun. His coach was really knowledgeable, and but he was like he seemed to be pretty good with kids, and um he because I was listening to they have two fields going at the same time, and it in this league, and I could hear some of the coaches um on the other sideline were just having problems getting their kids to pay attention,
Yeah. Well, the young ones,
um
it's
and he hardly ever had a problem. I won't say it was ever perfect, but he hardly ever had a problem, and he had a lot of fun with the kids. And um, the other thing that I was really big on was he was teaching them the right things because he was teaching them you may be down 0-5, which one game they were, and it's like don't give up. Just
yeah.
play till the end, um and the next time they played that team, they played them a lot closer. They only lost 2-1. So, um, yeah. And when football was fun, I've only seen one game so far. It's kind of ironic. I was telling the kid this too, that I said it's kind of ironic because that first week, uh, he was supposed to be on a team on Fridays. They were supposed to practice Monday and Friday, and I gave his uh, I gave his mom. I told her what was going on. I said, "Well, this is what the director said from the Y," and um, I, I said he can still be on this team, or we can change it. He offered to change him to Wednesday nights, and she's like, "Well, we'll change him to the Wednesday night one." Well, that cost us like the first week of doing this, and then we've had. I think now we're finally getting on the same page, but like the coach had a hard time getting in contact with me just because I wasn't in the original group, so then he didn't have he didn't have my cell phone, so he didn't have me just queued up, and
Yeah.
when he was texting him about things, he didn't have me on there. But anyways, um, it's kind of ironic because now they're back. He's back on Friday nights. I'm like, we could have just if we would have just stayed on that other team, we would have been fine. We'd be doing the same thing now, and you wouldn't have missed the first week. Oh well. I don't know if I don't know if we'll be doing football again or not. He hasn't really said. Like soccer and swimming, he told me right away that he's like, I want to do that again when it comes time to sign up.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we never had soccer back in our day, but I guess I kind of like it.
I,
I'm glad he doesn't. I'm glad he doesn't have. He saw what baseball is, and he doesn't want to even think about that, which is good because I can't stand baseball.
I played baseball when I was little, but I also was the person that got hit all the time too. Um, so I grew to hate baseball.
Well, I don't like because it's just boring. I mean, like,
There we are. Um, and I don't have a perfect solution because we're already talking about what league to sign him up for next and stuff. I don't have a perfect solution, but I did finally find like they're doing indoor soccer again in July. I'm like, well, it's not as early as we wanted, but
yeah.
at least they're doing it again. Oh, the dog wants out. Hold on just a second.
Okay.
I need to bubble about Stream Deck.
Yeah.
I know how to use it, and it was really easy to set up and stuff. I don't have I don't really have a bunch of extras to it, but um, but at least I'm using it, and I can use it on both my channels. So
Yeah.
I get my I get my next Twitch payout soon. I might get some extra stuff for it because I have to. I think I have to pay for like little sound bits, like music, like that's on for channel points and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Well, I wonder if you Google that. If there's some free ones, that you can.
Well, and what I can't figure out is so um average has his set up to play like the music like you guys are playing, but I tried to do that and I couldn't figure it out.
Well, you have to download it and then put it in this folder, and then, which actually, let's start that up. Actually, I forget. Is it F5? No. There it is.
Okay.
There we go.
This needs lime. Do we have any lime? Do we have any lime machines? That'd be the question. I think we have one.
Yeah, there's one here.
City grind, crushing my soul. Gray walls, dreams feeling cold. Tie strangling joy every day. Needed dirt grass to break away.
Oh. I thought there was space in the garage. That's okay.
Paper stacked high on my desk.
Just park this here for now. Okay. There's a. I can show you here, and then I'll have to go get another limer.
Is it this deal?
So this thing you can put lime in.
Okay.
Oh no, we don't have a machine to do lime, or we don't.
Isn't that?
We have a fertilizer spreader. We don't have the right.
I thought that
We
was-
don't have a lime spreader. You want to jump in the Massey, or I don't care which tractor you take, but you can follow me down to the shop and we'll get.
Actually, I need to go to Nacho's page, see if he's updated or got different music, because more music.
What?
I kind of, I'd been talking to him a little bit on stream, like he needs to do. He has some in there, like phony commercials, kind of like GTA does.
Yeah. Well, I'm not completely sure, but I think he said I was in there when he was talking to someone else about it. I think he has on this page, he has even more music than what's on the radio. I think he said he
I
had,
downloaded all the pack, the pack or whatever he has, but it's two channels. Like I got it on the country now, but there's kind of
there's country and there's rock.
Yeah.
There's country and there's rock, but the rock sounded more like country rock.
Well, I mean it's like it's not him singing, because I asked him that. It's like, is this stuff you produce? It's like,
No.
well, he had a hand in it, but it's but like it just needs more songs.
Yeah. Well, he said he had to ask people because he was running out of ideas for songs, and he had to ask around different people to figure out songs at a certain point.
Yeah.
Hope I didn't lose you.
Yeah, yours must be a lot faster. I can see it.
It is because I got the fast track.
Yeah. Guess I gotta go in here. Depends.
Yeah, I got one of those JCB fast tracks. This gotta be my second favorite tractor in the game, just because it goes fast.
I see Gold streaming right now too.
Yeah, he does Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays.
Maybe that's
Let's
why we ought
schedule
to do a Tuesday, Thursday or something. Then he
Well,
can
that's-
hop on ours.
Yeah. The only thing about Tuesday, Thursdays is I watch XR. He's the guy that set up, one of the guys that set up the EOS. Him and his buddies, and I catch them throughout the week if I can. What if I miss a night? I mean, I miss a night. It's not like I didn't miss tonight or something.
Yeah.
I try to catch gold if I can, but it seems like the last week or two I haven't been able to.
Yeah,
Unless it's like
I've missed it a couple of times.
unless he does like his weekend stream. Like unless he does like an off schedule weekend stream that I can jump into.
Yeah.
On the ground, but my heart stayed cold. In this journey, riding through the night, chasing dreams, I won't give up the fight. Dream chaser running, ain't looking back. Got the fire inside, ain't losing track. Hard times fall, but I won't.
And before I forget, I think I just decided tonight. Originally, I was thinking of not, because I have not so much because of the football game, but because I have some errands to run around town. One of them might be actually kind of, I don't know what you want to say, kind of silly or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
the car dealership did this thing in town where you scratch off and you could win prizes. And then of course I called them and because it said to call them if you won prizes, and I
Yeah.
called them and they're like, well, you got to come in if you won something. And I'm like, great, this is exactly what I didn't want, because then you're gonna try and sell me crap
Yeah.
that I don't want. But so it's like one of those things where it's like I kind of want to see if I actually did win something, or if it's just like you have to buy a new car to get it.
Oh, yeah.
But because if I actually won what it says I won like $1,000 in gas. And so I'm like, I guess I'm kind of intrigued enough. It's like, well, if I actually won that, I would take that, you know.
We're doing
But
lime,
if they're
right?
gonna,
We're doing lime.
yeah, yep. But if they're gonna sit there and harass me about like trying to buy a new car or
then
something,
you
then
just,
I'm just gonna walk.
Yeah, you
I'm just gonna walk out. But I was gonna try to do that because, I think it's only for like this weekend. It's only like a 3-day thing, and tomorrow's the only day I could actually go in there. Yeah, they sent this flyer out. You had a chance. You have a chance to win, supposedly, and supposedly they're not all, supposedly they're not all winners. I don't know, but then also they had this grand prize. Like, you have to win a chance to win another scratch ticket, and the scratch ticket is a chance for like $100,000. And so I was gonna take that paper in there and, like I said, see what they say. If they, I guess if they try to sell me something, I'll just, like I said, walk out.
Yeah.
But I figured it was worth a shot if I actually won.
Yeah.
It doesn't say that I have to purchase anything, but
Well,
you know how they,
Well,
you know how
that's-
they are.
yeah. It might be one of those deals. Okay, no purchase necessary, but then okay, well, you got to mail this thing in.
Well, if it's $1,000 in gas, I'll mail whatever in. I don't care.
But what I mean is, you got to go pick up the forms, and they kind of make it some hoops to to go through or something.
Yeah.
You know?
But for
I mean, it's kinda like the
$1,000
whole-
in gas, I'll go through them.
You know, it's like the you know, American Family Publishers with Ed McMahon. You know, you didn't have to buy the magazines to win, but what you had to do was fill all this stuff out and mail it in by this date, and you know, there was all these things that you missed one little detail, you know, you weren't eligible or whatever.
I get, I get those things from the NRA too, where it's like you don't have to be a part of this or pay this extra or whatever, for whatever fundraiser they're trying to do to win prizes, but you do have to fill out the forms to send it in, and
Yeah.
because they do ones where it's like you could win like the grand prize might be 30 guns or a trip to Africa, and then the next one will be like 25 guns or a camping trip to Colorado in the mountains, or just, and they just keep getting less and less, and by the end of it it's like the last prize is like you win a cooler.
Yeah.
But I've read those, and yeah, you don't.
Oh, speaking of that, I need to log into Rocky Mountain and spend my cash again before it
Yep.
expires, because I got
Yep.
10. I'll have like $15. See, I already bought a shirt using. I had like $13 because it. Speaking of which, I think I made my picks. Maybe I didn't. I don't know.
I did. I watched them with my mom last week, and so I made my picks already.
But yeah, actually, there's some actual closeout shirts that would be. I mean, it's got to pay a minimal shipping fee, but it makes it about a $3 shirt.
Yeah. There was. I was just looking this week because I was thinking of doing the same thing. There was a nice. Let me see here. It was like one of those performance style tees.
Right. Speaking of that, I need to buy my own T-shirt stuff. I've been meaning to do that out of my store. I just keep forgetting, so I can wear them in my next video or on stream here and stuff.
Mm.
But anyway, yeah. Actually, there was kind of some neat, like Rocky Mountain ATV branded ones that were.
Well, this was like, I think this was a. Well, the Rocky Mountain stuff is the one pulled up. No, this is there's an MSR shirt for like $13 to $16, $14 to $17 basically. And it's like one of those nice
like the soft fabric or whatever.
Well, like the nice performance tees is what I would call it.
Okay, yeah. Well, and I bought that's a nice soft fabric. I bought a FMF one that's kind of like, it's their logo, but it's kind of more done in like a, American flag, red, white, and blue kind of colors. So, did that, and then I saw this Rocky Mountain one, which is kind of has a vintage throwback kind of design to it. I was thinking about it the other day when I was looking at it, the fact that, they gave, I just contacted them, they gave me all that stuff for, the trail deal. I wish, we had more stuff than we had people to give it away for. But,
yeah.
But that was quite to me, that's kind of a highlight, because I was just, almost kind of like you and the dude with the checkered flag, over the ATV race, and just kind of, happened.
Yeah.
Because if they wouldn't have given me anything, I would have been, well, whatever. At least I, don't know if you don't ask, kind of thing.
I still remember the one from Monster that you got.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I got all that couple cases of that, and I got the banner. It's huge. I got it rolled up, folded up somewhere. I would like to have it displayed like somewhere, but it is just so big. Like I could put it on the ceiling, but it's almost even too big for that. You know?
Well, I was looking at this. Oh wow! Let's see. I have $18.20 to use.
Now, let me.
Yeah, so my total due, my bill total due is $3.20 with the shipping.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna log in and look.
Because what I was thinking while I was so hip on this, so hip on the shirt was I was thinking it would be a good shirt for like mowing and stuff. So it'd be a little bit cooler wearing and. Yeah, I can't go riding with that. $3.20 for a.
Well, and maybe that I'm getting older. I'm kind of, gotta rotate out some of my shirts, get rid of some things, I mean, I still like graphic tees, but, I guess I'm just sitting there wasting. How much do I have? Yeah, I got $14.90. I figured I have about $13 or $15. $14.92. So yeah, that's gonna make my T-shirt that I got found about $3-4 because of the shipping.
Yeah.
But I need to do my picks, so maybe I'll.
Well, let me
do my picks here. Yes.
That was my thing at the beginning of the week. I was looking through picks, and I watched the race, and then I found out they didn't do the update till Monday.
Yeah.
And
I think I'm gonna go Sexton in first. I mean, I was gonna go Webb, but
I have been. I guess the way things are going, and Webb may have a good race or two, but
I think I'm gonna do
Sexton's kind of on a.
I think I'm gonna do Plessinger, and then I'm gonna put Justin Cooper up there in fourth. Probably,
yeah.
I think maybe Mookie. I don't know. Well, shoot, you can't count Roxon out of there.
Well, yes and no. I
know,
think
but
I
he was able to hold on to it, but
I think I picked Fernandez this week.
Yeah, let's see. I guess I'll do Roxon in fifth, although he'll probably do better, but I feel like Plessinger's going to get on the box again. And 13th place, feel like that's more of a Chisholm, but Savachi, of course he did good, but I feel like that was more of a fluke.
Yeah,
he doesn't do that. You know what?
Savachi got hurt. He just returned.
Oh, okay.
We've had a conversation about this at work because
you know what? I'm gonna put Bloss in 13th, I guess. All right.
The guy I work with, he's actually in our he's on the other group with us. Actually, he's got two of them in that group. Anyways, he says he always picks Savachi as the
wild card,
and then he got kind of bummed because I think about a month ago, Savachi went off and cracked a rib, and he was out for a while. And now last weekend was his first weekend back, And that's a reason why I'm not so high on Ken right now, because
Well,
he's got
it's just the
he's got
stamina.
a-
With
he's got a separated shoulder right now, and then he
Yeah.
also has a bum leg again.
but he held he was able to hold it for hold a. Was he top 5 last week? Like it's surprising what he can hold on to, even though he's
They're saying what they're saying, and what he come out and he also came out and said himself is like he can start strong, at the beginning of the race and everything, but it gets to a point where it gets so sore at the end of the race that he can't hold the position to finish. That's why Plessinger passed him last week.
Well, and that's why I'm putting Plessinger high, because he definitely has the speed. He just gets either screwed on the start or somebody gets into him.
Well, he has the speed unless if he gets the whole shot, he usually ends up against Chase, and then Chase. Right now, Chase is like the fastest person out there.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And Webb, I was really surprised he couldn't hang last week. I mean, he just.
Well, but yeah, you say that, but 2 races ago, he came from.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The track
to
just wasn't
second.
suiting him. He wasn't able to hang.
Yeah.
Where Chase was able to figure it out. Yeah, I'm not saying Coop's slower. It's just Coop seems inconsistent. While Sexton's very consistent, as long as he doesn't make his dumb mistakes. He wouldn't be in this position had he made some of those idiotic. I mean, he shot himself in the foot twice, and he's paying for it. He may lose the championship because of it, Because all Coop's got to do is just keep getting second. And I don't know how the math works out, but, Coop may only have to win one more race and then just stay within second place. I don't know. I'd have to really look at it. I don't listen to the pundits on this stuff like I should. But it feels like, it's gonna, which kind of would be kind of nice, because that doesn't always happen. Is it really comes down to the last race kind of deal.
Yeah.
But Sexton definitely is the more consistent rider. He just had 2 forced errors, I guess, to borrow from baseball. It wasn't like somebody, it wasn't like mechanical. It wasn't like somebody ran into him or anything. That one where he wanted to go for the lead when he really didn't need to.
Yeah.
And that one probably was the biggest, where he just totally.
Well, and then there was a couple of those where, especially more towards the beginning, he just was not getting the starts. And
and of course Jet was in there, and Tomac, and you had all the other big guns, and that's another thing that's going to haunt him for the rest of his career, because somebody's going to say, well, the best wasn't in there, But I don't know. I feel he has Jet speed, and.
No, I don't. I think he will step slower in Jet.
Well, he's not better, but I feel like he can. They could toe to toe, but
because my opinion is, I mean, this is just my opinion, whatever. But he has to ride over the edge, and then he ends up wrecking out every time he goes up against Jet, because Jet can ride that edge and he can't.
Well, that's true. I can agree with that assessment. But what I'm saying is he can run it, but I guess you're right. He has to kind of run on the edge. But the people that want to put the asterisk in are like, well, they ran it too hard and got themselves hurt. I mean, a lot of people say that, or I even say that kind of about Reed. He only has one of his championships because Ricky was out, for the season with a knee injury that happened before the season. He didn't even start.
Then wasn't the other one because James was out?
Yes, right, because he didn't have to battle James. Yeah. Yeah, because the one that he won, I think it was 03, that was him and Wyndham battled. It's just Wyndham was getting past he got his second win, but he was, he wasted too much time screwing around in those early days, and he was too kind of on the older end, while Reed was still younger.
I'll say this, like with Reed and with Chase and that, people that say that about like Judd or Ricky or James weren't in there when you won those, but at the same time, like, getting hurt is part of racing too, and he just was healthy at the right times and was able to finish it out, like.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the thing.
You wish those guys were in there, but at the same time, like, they weren't there at the starting gate because they were hurt, and that's part of it too. You don't really talk about that part so much, but
yeah, though if Chase pulls out, I'm the season win. I wonder because there's a lot of Chase haters, and I'm not one of them, but I kind of get it because he is kind of a boring rider, I guess. He's very little personality, maybe, where the others. That's Pleschinger's golden ticket to keep racing into his late 30s. Is he's just gonna be that good old boy, I'd like to see him be a contender, but I just don't know if he's just completely got it. But then again, the people who hate Chase love Cooper and Cooper Webb, and I think he's just as kind of boring as Chase, honestly. Not much of a personality.
yeah.
And that's what sells the TV. That's what sells the tickets and all that. It's kind of like, any sport, football, whatever. You got to kind of have, you got to have those few people to sort of get you to watch, the Aaron Rodgerses and the Tom Brady's. You may love them or you may hate them, but that's why you're watching,
Yep. Yeah.
Kind of deal.
You watch them because you love them, or you watch them because you want to see them fail.
But like, and I don't follow football anymore, so I can't think of just some the average, whoever the hell the Broncos got, nobody cares about him, really. Even out here, I don't hear. That's why I can't even think of his name, because it doesn't even come up in conversation.
I think I know, but
I quit.
I kind of last year for some reason, and a lot of it had to do with streaming. I don't know if it'll always be like that or whatnot, but last year I just didn't. Other than the Huskers, I didn't really pay attention to football.
Well, and that's
I could have cared less about like the national championship and the pros, and this, especially who ended up in the Super Bowl. I was one person that did not watch it.
Oh well, I didn't watch it, but I've quit watching professional. I should probably try to get in and watching college football. I'm never, because it's probably a little more pure, sort of. But
no, not really, because now the NIL stuff.
Yeah.
Now the NIL stuff has made it so that everybody's, or not everybody, but the good players are paid, and then they're all about everybody in college now is all about how much they can get paid from whatever
Okay.
team,
So that has
and
trickled down
and
into the game.
how much playing time they can get, and if they don't
For
get
their
enough,
endorsements, yeah.
if they don't get enough from one team, they'll turn around and transfer to another team, and
See,
there's no.
okay, and then, well, see, and that's what, I mean, there's a number of things, but that's part, not all, but that's a percentage of why I quit watching the NFL is the team. You were just hanging your fandom on a logo almost, and or maybe you follow the player, but it's like the team's changed week to week, and it's like, no, yeah, I mean, yeah, the draft and stuff, you gotta pay them and all that. Okay, well, you buy your team at the beginning of the season and you work with what you bought, kind of thing. And either you spent your money well, or you didn't, and when you didn't, you built them, you built players, kind of thing. And I don't know, maybe it's a little bit of rose tinted glasses and too, but I feel like I said, I don't know how pure it really was, but I mean, it for the most part, players stuck with a team for years, 5 years at least, if not hell longer, And I'm talking everybody, linemen and everybody, the people you didn't know were there forever, and they, they, for better or worse, they worked it,
Well,
but, and I know, commercialization and all that, and they wanted to make every game exciting. I know what it is, I see, and Supercross, if it hasn't already gotten there, it's getting there, just in a different way, sort of like, I hope it doesn't start its downfall like NASCAR, just with, we got to make all these personalities and then this format and these format changes to make every single race a storyline and all that, rather than just send them out there, have them race. Or like in the old NFL, it seemed like, okay, you have your team for the year, play them, they get hammered, if they do well, they do well, but again, I've been out of the loop so much that maybe my opinions are not valid anymore.
Part of that's kind of screwed that up, and I'm not saying this is all of it, but part of it is the salary cap, because you can only have so much money in players on the field, and so you may not want to get rid of somebody, and you may have to.
Yeah, I know, but I guess I've never, even when I was an avid watcher, I guess I was never a super fan. I mean, I wasn't like the Nebraska fans that their emotional status or emotional stability is dependent on, like Swanson. Their emotional stability depended on if they won or lost, kind of thing. Those uber super fans, but it lost its appeal for even a casual fan. And honestly, I occasionally I've went back and because they're on YouTube and stuff, and watched old broadcasts of games I remember and stuff from the 80s, and it's like, wow, granted, the athletes, they were slower, but the game was slower, but it was more engaging because of the slowness. But now it's slow, but for a different reason. It's so they can get more advertising in, and that's probably one of the largest percentages of why I got away from football. Was there was hardly any football. I mean, plays last seconds, and then I feel like there's someone in the booth is like, all right, officials run an official's timeout so we can run another sponsor spot, or hey, throw a they kind of whisper, throw a review flag, and just so we can have an extra 45 seconds to run a spot. It just, the last few games I remember watching, they were just, the games were slow because of all the advertising, Like, no wonder these guys aren't tired. They're barely on the field. Well, and then the other thing is they aren't it felt like, depending on the game, of course, and the TV market and all that, they weren't, running hard to the because they don't want to get hurt and lose this paycheck. So they weren't running plays out, even if it didn't matter. I mean, that, going back, we had talked about that high school, with Davis and stuff, and Kron Hoffman, his style was like, if you're in the game, you run it all the way out. Even if we're down, you run it all the way out, Or even if we're winning and blowing them out, you run that play all the way out, or whatever, And I was not seeing that out of... And I know there's strategy behind it because you don't want to get your players hurt, but also, I don't know, just like both teams kind of had a truce, like, all right, this game doesn't matter, so I'm gonna hit you, but I'm not gonna hit you, things, and just sort of. So are you gonna be able to get that whole pass there?
If not, I'll probably be able to get what's left on my way back.
I missed a strip down over here, so I'm gonna go over there. Otherwise,
I'm not too worried about it. What we missed, just as long as we got the majority of the field. But one of the big things right now that I've been on the kick on is the refs, and it's not just. It's in all the pro leagues where they in basketball they just do whatever LeBron James basically wants. In football, it's whatever the Chiefs want.
Well, I feel like basketball or NBA has been like that for a long time.
But it's gotten so bad that every fan knows it, and they still do it anyways. They still set you up by doing it anyways. It's like, it's not even... It's basically rigged.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like that's kind of football.
At least wrestling, even though it's rigged, like pro wrestling,
well, that's entertainment, though. That's a little different.
But even though, like, half the time the bad guy wins and half the time the good guy wins in these pro games, there is no, it's basically the same teams winning over and over and over and over until you get sick of them, and then they still win. There's no trade-off like there is in wrestling.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I didn't watch the Super Bowl this year, because both of these teams played each other like 2 years ago, and I don't... Now, if there was another team in there that played one of the two of them, that would have been a little bit different, But...
Yeah, I don't know. Like, going back to Supercross, I think it's got a while, but I don't really understand. Well, I know it's to just try to get more engagement, but it's like this Supercross, like, playoffs or whatever they're doing. It just...
I think it was a way to kind of expand the $1 million monster challenge that
Well,
used
yeah.
to be there.
Or the U.S. Open as it used to be.
Yeah, it was just a way to expand it so it was more than just one race, you know, a one and done. But at the same time, it was kind of nice being one and done because these guys have been racing all season, and it was give them a chance to race one more, but in you know, in a big race like Vegas. And then I think that's the other thing is like, because it used to be in Vegas.
Well, yeah.
And
Yeah, the U.S. Open always was there, and then the Monster Energy Cup. Well, and the thing is one big race, it rewarded, you know, the guy that could be just the fastest, you know.
okay, we're gonna do a contract, but
Okay.
I'm gonna set it up. It's going to be
Okay, well, you do that.
Let's see.
I'm going to run and grab something to drink. Hang on. So, yeah, get her set up. I'm going to BRB.
okay. Okay, and then I need the headers. Oh, they'd be in here.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, I'm getting them. Now these are a little unrealistic, and they will go super fast if you don't watch them. So, just so you know.
Uh-oh.
What field
It
are we going to?
It spawned in on one of the cars at the shop.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, wait, do I got to put
was-
the attachment on the front?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, wow, yeah, these
I
are
was-
twitchy as hell.
Yeah.
Oh, that's... Whoa. Okay.
You can set the. What I do with these things that go way too fast is I always set the cruise control at a slower speed.
There we go. All right.
Okay. I'll take you down to where we're supposed to go, and then I'll have to get the rest of the equipment. Technically, I've never been here before, so this could be new and exciting.
Jeez, these go like 70.
Mhm.
Stop good, though.
Well, and
Is this
I didn't-
a must be kind of a mod type thing, or?
yeah.
Okay, so somebody didn't program them very good.
No, they did, because these are set so they can be unrealistic. So you can
Oh,
do big maps like this and just work them, so to speak. Trying to figure out how to get there. I've never been to this field
What
before.
number are we going to? I mean, I'm
All the way
going-
down in the bottom corner, 23.
Okay.
I don't even know where
100.
we cross at.
Yep, hit 100.
I don't know where we cross at.
Should be able to go through there. Those are too deep.
Yeah, but you would think there'd be a road that would be like, hey, cross here.
Yeah.
There really isn't.
Oh. The edge of the map.
Yep,
Well, where the hell is?
it's all the way over here.
Oh, I see. Okay.
That's why I said I was trying to find the road network to get here.
Yeehaw. Oh shit! Come on. There we go. Saved it.
Whoa. The other thing is I should have added GPS to these things, but I didn't.
It's this one, isn't
Yep.
it? Okay.
Alright. You can get started on it, and
Alright.
I will get... Um... We'll get a trailer. Oops. I think I accidentally bought all those. Um...
What the hell?
Oops. What?
Oh, I gotta. Oh, that's right. I gotta select this tool. Let me. That's right. These kind of.
Alright, there we go.
Do a thing. I gotta go to YouTube. I forgot. Got to set it. Got to turn monetization on. Oh well. Alright.
Oh, did you, well, you should have gotten a golf ball marker this week.
Oh, yeah. I haven't messed with it. Maybe, yeah, maybe this weekend. I'll see if I can mess with that phone.
I'm not in a hurry. I'm not in a hurry for it because I'm not. I don't plan on going golfing anytime soon.
Well, I got some rubbery type filament for a project I'm doing. I might try that just for see how that prints.
Okay. Because I did it more as like, well, I guess if I do golf, I wanted these done, um, but I did it more as like just to see that I could do it type of thing.
Yeah.
Which it took me a little bit to figure out and everything. It wasn't just a simple wasn't just a simple cut and everything. I had to kind of use the design that I think you found it actually. I had to use that design and make it work.
Yeah.
I should have added GPS to this, but that's okay. See, this is what I should have done when we did the Elmo one instead of trying to do what I did, but I did get another. Actually, it's a takeoff of the design I did last week. But I'm getting more shirt designs kind of stored up, so to speak, so I can, when I do get ready to make them, all I have to do is the coloring.
Yeah.
Dirty boots kicked off in the barn. Spending my last dime on a two-bit charm. Whiskey bottle rolled under the straw. Dreams left shattered by a whiskey jar. Cornfields dry like my old cowboy farm. Plow my soul in a soil that's tar. Smoky bar stool where I drown my sin. Bottle of cheap.
Well, these ones hold quite a bit because I'm not even 1% full.
Yep,
This will be nice.
yep. That's why I got them.
Guitar strings snapping like my resolve. Old roadhouse where my life devolved. Shaky hands holding memories close. Yet I lost more than most folks know. Falling down, nobody's around. Silent screams in a sleepy town. Empty pockets can't buy back time. Echoes of regret on my mind. Whiskey and women drained my soul. Left me empty with a hole. Whiskey and women took it all. Now I can't stand, but I'd rather crawl. Cornfields dry like my old cowpoke heart. Plow my soul in a soil that's tar. Smoky bar stool where I drown my sin. Bottle of cheap, never felt it again. Whiskey and women drained my soul. Left me empty with a hole. Whiskey and women took it all. Now I can't stand, but I crawl.
Decided to do a switch on my maps on FS25
Oh,
this
yeah.
week. So what I did, I got all my canola planted on my Riverbend Springs, and then I was almost done with. I had the cows, the Angus almost completely matured, and I filled up my lumber mill, sawmill, basically, and sold all the cows because I let them finish maturing, and then I ended up with like $1.6 million, and then I set Riverbend Springs up so that basically all I have to do is just if I want to get back into the map, I just have to forward in through the night, and I'll start having money again. And I took the $1.6 million and I transferred it to. I think I'm gonna play that Huna Puntai or whatever it's called, the Asian map.
Oh, yeah.
And I took the money there, and then I bought two wind turbines with the money, and so that I can start generating money on that map, and I'm gonna start playing that one. I think until I think with Riverbend Springs, like I'm not completely burned out of it, but I'm burned out enough. I need to play something else, so
Yeah.
I took the money that I made and on 22. I wish that I would have. I always wish that I would have waited or saved my game save and then went to other maps and then came back to it. And so I'm trying to do that with 25. Like every once in a while, I might get an inkling to play it, and I'll go back and I'll play it.
Yeah.
Come on down to Grocery Mart. We don't make the prices.
But I did it kind of like, sort of like, I got the idea from Out of Ore, which is basically that the money that the farm generated, is company money, and so then when I transferred to the next map, I transferred the money in.
Yeah, it's like it's like you're investing.
Yep, I took the money and invested it, and then the idea was that if I ever wanted to go back into Riverbend Springs, the investments that I made there in the solar and the wind farm will give me enough restarting capital to continue on with the farm. I've got, which basically means now I've got like 4 maps on the go, but I've really only been, basically I've only, one of them is is a logging map, and I haven't really played it in a while, but I was thinking about playing it here soon again. And then the other one was a map that is big fields like this map.
Yeah.
And the only reason that I have it is if I hit a night where I just want to work fields and not think about things or whatever.
Yeah.
I already have that map going, so. can't remember if it was last weekend I was talking about it with you, playing 17, or 19, but I went back and did set up a map on 19. But I found out, like, solar panels and wind turbines, and I don't even know if you can get wind turbines, but those were actually, you had to get them as mods. You couldn't, they weren't in
They
the
weren't
game
just
like
in
they
the
were in
game.
22 and 25. So you have to you have to regularly put them in, which is weird because in 15 I remember them being in the game. Are you catching up to me?
Yeah, I am.
Where are you?
Well, I'm at the other end of the field. I think we're. Well, no, you're.
Well, I thought I heard you, and then I turned around and you're, because
No,
I
I
thought
guess
I heard you
we're
like, right
we're
behind
exactly
me.
catty corner from each other. I know.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cause yeah, I thought I heard you, and then I turn around and you're not there.
Yeah, I can see over there.
Cause I was gonna pull off and let you by at the corner, if you were catching me, but.
Shadows long across the fields, burden carried high like a wounded shield. Whispers of a promise in this fertile ground, but I can't silence my father's ghostly sound. All is hard when you're drinking sorrow dry. Every drop reminds me of that final goodbye. Rustle of the leaves like a mournful hymn. Can't tell if I'm losing or learning to begin. Old man's land and a heavy heart, trying to keep this dream from falling apart. Sweat and blood and tears in the sunburned dirt, bending beneath the weight of all this hurt.
Well, did you find your Rocky Mountain shirt, or did you give that up until you could look off after?
Well, I'll look at it off stream, but yeah, no, I was looking at it last weekend, and so I'll probably place my order tomorrow morning.
So, I guess the reason why was because you brought up the Rocky Mountain, the shirts, their shirts. Well, when I looked last week, they didn't have any, and I noticed this week they added them in, because the MSR ones that I was looking at were like you set the price so they went low to highest.
Yeah.
And they were the first ones in there, and this week they're not.
Yeah, I looked at some other stuff too. I was like, well, you know, but I didn't really see anything else. I mean,
There was a Rocky Mountain. They like did this blend of this. It was a skull and dirt bike and stuff. It was
Yeah.
like you look at it and you could tell it was a skull, but it was also kind of obscure a little bit. It wasn't completely obvious, and I had thought about that, but then I really noticed that these MSR shirts were, like I said, performance tees, and I was like, it's like, man, that's a good price. That'd be a nice, if nothing else, that'll be a nice Moen shirt on a hot day.
Yeah. Well, and I'm also thinking it's like, I'm gonna, especially with Tucker, well, and Trip, Trip can now do soccer too. So coming up, well, not this Saturday, but next Saturday, his he has practices and a game, so it's like it's an hour, but it's like 30 minutes of like practice, and then they have kind of a little game, and then
Yeah.
each
Well, that's what.
because I mean it's they're so little they they don't know what to do, so it's
Yeah.
just kind of getting them, running them basically. But I might, and I see other parents do this too, but I might start running around the field or jogging around the field, just like, I don't want it to be like, call it training, but I do want to get into some sort of regimen, because me and Katie used to do that, but then of course you had kids and you just get tired of chasing them around, and then it's like, no, we don't. Well, and then also the only time to do it is after they go to bed. Well, it's like, well, we can't go to the rec center, or we have to do it alone, trade off. And we thought about doing that, and I still might do that kind of stuff, because to go use some machines, but just get back a little bit of,
Yeah, I
mostly
really,
for
yeah,
and mostly for just because we do go, especially we got the RCs and stuff, and we did that a lot last years when just would go up hiking for the afternoon or even the morning or whatever, go somewhere where there's some trails that aren't too arduous. And as trips better now, we can do a little harder stuff. That sort of the other issue too.
Mm.
Just couldn't do anything too strenuous or rocky, because he couldn't climb it, but now he can. So
Yeah. Well,
I mean, because I thought about, well, maybe I'll get back into riding, but I really don't want to go by. I mean, it was fine back when I was single or like younger, going by myself, but now it's like, well, but I do want to get back on my trials bike, because I can do that like in the backyard or where we go camping and stuff. Taking it's easy to throw in there and just to mess around for, I'm not all about pretending I'm in an enduro race like back in the day, like we used to ride, thinking about is, we used to ride up there all day in the heat, and I mean, yeah, we got hot, but man, we didn't want to give up a day of riding, even if it was hot out,
well, heck, I was working a second job, and then I'd still come down and ride afterward.
Exactly, yeah.
And then wake up and go do the second job again the next day.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, and I know age just adds a lot, but I just want to get back into some better shape.
Yeah.
Because the kids are getting more, or wanting, they can be more active, and we can go do some more stuff, so I want to be in shape to be able to do it,
Yeah.
And if they want to get back into motorcycling, well, I want to be able to, that ever interests them, and if it doesn't, that's fine too, but, they're definitely doing the soccer deal, because, like, Tucker's deal, we did a kids against parents soccer game, and that was actually pretty darn fun, but pretty much all but like two of these parents that were like uber, athletic, or, well, not athletic, but you could tell they, do things run or whatever that were really in shape. The rest of us, we were about dead after 30 minutes of just playing kids, and of course not trying to mow them over, but still give them a chance. But
Yeah.
but it was a lot of fun. I mean, but like, and I guess it wasn't like I was out of. It wasn't so much the cardio, if anything. It was just I was just sore. My ankles were kind of wobbly, but that's because like I don't have those ligaments and stuff as toned and stuff as they could be.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, my feet and calves and thighs were just hurting and stuff. And a lot of it is I don't ski anymore because it's just become cost prohibitive and time prohibitive because you can't park anywhere without paying out the nose and then walking forever, and they don't want day skiers. That's the thing. Yeah, I don't know. It's not. I mean, it was even getting pricey back when I was single, but now it's just. But there was still, free parking or close lots, but now it's all pay and anywhere you go, and you're still walking. I don't mind paying for parking if I'm at the base of the mountain, but you're not. So I don't feel like it's a very good value to pay. So it's like, well, then you park in, depending on where it is, you park in town, ride the shuttle. Well, there's 30, 40 minutes of time just to get there from wherever you park, not to mention the drive up, and then, and then that's 40 minutes on the end of your day when you're tired.
Yeah.
And then, and then the traffic and stuff, which has always been kind of bad, but it's just like when we go up in the mountains, if we're going to go up I-70, it's definitely more in more of the Goldilocks season, the mid-off season. But heck, we go up 285 and those just because less people go that way, and we kind of go the off-beaten places just because of that traffic.
Go truck yourself.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say you were talking about how like trips soccer was. So ours was it was an hour and a half long, and then the first Monday was all. See, the first day was all drills. If I remember right, they split it between the four coaches, so each coach ran drills with everybody. The second day that week, you had your team, and you did drills for an hour, and then you played for half an hour, and then every week after that, which would have been another 3 weeks, basically, you drilled for half an hour, and then you played a game for an hour.
Yeah.
My thing about it though was I didn't mind going, I didn't mind watching. It just for me makes for a long day because I get up, go work all day.
Yeah.
And then I go pick him up and run him around to get his shoes and jersey and stuff, and then take him to the game and watch the game, and I'm happy to sit there and watch because it's kind of not only to watch, but it's also kind of a nice way to relax and end the day and stuff. The
Yeah.
only thing I say is this time of year it's a little chilly,
Yeah.
but then yeah, I wouldn't get home till 9:30. So basically, my whole day's shot, and that's 2 days out of the week. That was plus you had football practice and football games on top of that. That was a lot going.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing on, let's see, Tucker's practice is on Thursday evening, so yeah, I get home and have maybe an hour to kind of just, change my clothes, maybe unwind a little, and then we go over there. But yeah, it's usually pretty nice in the evenings here, and yeah, so it can kind of be a bit of relaxing to watch them practice, of course. Then munch on some sunflower seeds and stuff. I mean, Trip remembered that because he's like, "Where's the sunflower seeds?" Because he likes to eat them. And it's like, well, I forgot to buy some, so like, well, we'll get a bag for the season. And
Old farmhouses laying quiet down the dirt roads.
Other than just being tired from catching up because I had to go in like an hour and a half early. Actually, it was an hour and a half early, and then I only got like a 30-minute lunch instead of like an hour. So it just made for a very long work day. I haven't been because with that kind of a schedule, I just couldn't figure out unless I went to the gym like late in the evening, which would have put me even later coming back home. Which I had kind of thought about doing, but I didn't. Anyways, I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna be done here, and I'm like, I can get back to the gym and stuff. Well, then we started doing this patio area, and well, that first day killed my back and my legs and stuff, and I'm like, I guess I look at it this way. It's like at least it's getting me moving and it's getting me to lift and stuff. It's maybe not doing the cardio that I wish I was doing, but in a way it's kind of probably a great cross trainer.
yeah,
And I know she's told me that she's got other gardening projects after that. I'm not 100% sure what she's playing in yet. But I'm kind of like, well, maybe, hopefully, I get this part done, and then I'll ease up a little bit. I can get back to the gym, but guess we'll see.
yeah.
Her son, the other night, he was and rightly so, but one of her things is having him help us and stuff. So he's out there doing stuff with too, and working and moving and stuff. Well, his job was to clean the pavers that we're redoing, and so he only has to lift them and move them so far, but after he got done with the rest of the night, he's like, man, he's like, you definitely have the hardest job out of all of us. He's like, as far as you have to haul them, which isn't, I mean, they're only like, I'm only hauling them maybe 20 feet, but he's like, to pick them up and haul them and help set them and stuff, he's like, you definitely got the hardest job.
Yeah.
I keep telling them, I'm like, well, if you do this, this will be like good training for soccer and for football.
Yeah.
And then last night I told him, because we were hauling, I don't know, I'm guessing they were like 20-pound bags of sand, 25-pound bags of sand. And that was another thing I was telling him, like he couldn't lift him, so that I didn't push him too hard. But I was like, you know, back when I wrestled and stuff, we used to have to go pick up hay bales and move them around and whatnot. And he goes, well, how heavy's a hay bale? And I'm like, I think they're about 40 pounds. I'm not 100% sure, but
40, 50, depending on the square bales.
and I'm like, but we're not just like picking them up. I'm like, we used to throw them.
Yeah, throw them and then stack them. Yeah.
Like, no, I wasn't in the stacking thing because so this is what I was helping Schreiner and his family do this. And so me and Justin were the ones picking them up and throwing them. And his mom and sister were, I think it was his sister, his mom for sure. Anyways, they were the ones stacking them. Me and Justin were the ones throwing them. But I'm like, yeah, they were like 40-some pounds, and like we used to throw them. And he was just like looking at me all wide-eyed. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it used to be.
Have to throw them to it's not so bad when you're doing the first couple of rows, but then when you get to that third and that fourth row, you've been throwing them for so long already, and then you have to throw them higher. And because I remember one night him and I went fishing, and when we came back home, there was a thunderstorm coming, and they wanted all the square bales off the field before the storm came. And so I helped them. We hurried as fast as we could go to get them all thrown on my trailer so they could get them in the barn.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know why. Well, you talked about patio stuff, so I mean, I got my new gazebo up and everything, and fixed up my deck again, and so I can start enjoying it out there. But I'm gonna probably tomorrow night. Nice. Experiment with because I've had it for a while, but I have a projector and a screen and such, and so maybe we can watch movies out there, like have some
Nice.
neighbors and stuff over, or see if I need to, because it's just basically like a white sheet, shiny sheet that came with it. But maybe I might just mount some hooks and buy one of them kind of like pull down ones or something that I can take and remove. But see, again, it's one of those things it's not high priority to get around to doing, but and I still got to put the railing up around it, which is from the old gazebo that I'll have to modify and make some posts. But this one's got a metal roof and should last a lot longer, and it's got some curtain sides that zip together, so you can kind of make it like a room out there. And it works pretty good when, like there's a breeze or something. Or, maybe even when it's light raining and stuff, too.
Yeah.
If I want to get real ambitious, I could kind of screen it or window it in so it can kind of be almost a 3-season type deal.
Yeah.
But I want to get the see how the projector works, and then see, well, how, because I've used it a couple of times, but you almost have to wait till after sundown. But with this, where I can kind of close it up, maybe can use it again before sundown.
Yeah.
But also, I got to figure out a stand to put it how high up it needs to be, and then also maybe some temporary audio too to set up. I want it to be not permanent, but relatively quick to just get out and set up when we want. Because we could watch YouTube videos out there, because it's Wi-Fi enabled, so I could stream or cast YouTube to it as well.
You start watching Supercross outside.
Well, that's the other thing is, maybe you could watch that, or, well, see, that's the thing. That's on. I don't know if I could cast Peacock though, but maybe if people put it up on YouTube, I gotta. I mean, it does have some different inputs.
You should be able to, because you technically you should be able to log in on your phone.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I should be able to. I don't know, because it does. I don't know. It, like I said, it's a cheap projector, so I forget how well the screen mirroring works. But yeah, I'll have to experiment with that.
Come to mi familia, now serving. How you say? Breakfast. Poniendo mis huevos en tu boca.
Mi familia, Mexican restaurant. Mi familia, we got the food that you want.
Come to mi familia, now serving. How you say? Breakfast. Poniendo mis huevos en tu boca.
I don't know. I've seen it. I think when I bought my house at one point in time, I had the idea of, well, back then the projectors weren't necessarily the thing. It was more of just doing it with TVs.
Yeah. Well, I do have my garage TV that I could put out there too, make a bracket hang, because I have it so it's kind of just temporary mounted. I can just lift it off of its mount. But yeah, but I thought, well, with the projector, I can get it reasonably big.
Yeah. Oh, you're doing what I was gonna do.
Yeah, well, I was like, here, kind of cut around it and then make a square.
He's the roaring beast. Horsepower, heart attack. His blood is boiling hot, ready to ignite. A tiny little creature, pint-sized dynamite. His pedal to the metal, nothing is guaranteed. Passing them one by one. Nacho takes the lead. Chihuahua Diesel Mayhem, king of his domain. Tearing up the track, a terror you can't tame. Chihuahua Diesel Mayhem, smallest of the pack. He's the roaring beast. Horsepower, heart attack. With lightning in his eyes and thunder in his paws, Nacho tears up the track. Chihuahua, without a cause. Chihuahua Diesel Mayhem, king of his domain. Tearing up the track, a terror you can't tame. Chihuahua Diesel Mayhem, smallest of the pack. He's the roaring beast. Horsepower, heart attack.
Did the boys like? I think last week was when I played Minecraft. Did the boys like it?
Oh,
It
yeah.
sounded like they did.
They did, yeah.
The finish line.
Although I think Tucker wanted me to do more mining.
Yeah.
Takes the checkered flag. Chihuahua Diesel Mayhem.
I was kind of, if I remember it, I was trying to split it up so I wasn't doing the same thing over and over and over again. Like, sitting there mining and breaking blocks. I was kind of like, I'd do a little bit of mining and then I go do this and go do that. And I was thinking about it though. I need to think about it some more, but I think I'm gonna, that new addition I built onto the house, I may redo that a little bit.
Chihuahua Diesel Mayhem, smallest of the pack. He's the roaring beast. Horsepower, heart attack.
Mi familia, Mexican restaurant. Mi familia, we got the food that you want.
Come to mi familia, now serving, how you say, breakfast, poniendo mis huevos en tu boca.
Mi familia, Mexican restaurant. Mi familia,
It's 11.
food that you want.
Oh, yeah, it's 10 o'clock here, so. Yeah, I was thinking, can we finish it?
Se habla español.
Maybe.
I guess I vote for, let's end it.
That's fine, because then we can
And then
wrap this up.
when we get into this map again, let me get along this edge and over to the other side. But I vote we end it, and then this little bit won't take us too long the next time we play this map. And
I'm only 12% full either, too, so it's like,
yeah,
these
yeah.
are gonna hold it, you know.
And then the next time we'll play this map, we'll finish this up and go on to the next thing. Yeah, cause I'm tired.
Yeah, so am I.
Well, not that I have to be up at a certain time tomorrow. I do on Sunday, but I don't tomorrow. She wanted me up there at 8 o'clock on Sunday. I should have last week because she had just woken up when she called me, and you could tell she was like stuck on a little sleepy. But I should have just ended my stream then.
Yeah.
But it worked out